In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Paper Mind Tranext Notebook. I'll go over the specs, I will do a paper test, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this notebook coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links to the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, it really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. Today, I'm excited to share with you the newest notebook from the Paper Mind. This is the Tranext Notebook, and this notebook is designed to be a replacement for Cosmo Air Light. As many of you know, Cosmo Air Light has been discontinued by the mill. However, that was one of my favorite papers, so I wanted to find a replacement. We are sold out of the Cosmo Air Light hardcover notebooks. We do have twin ring versions in some styles still left, but once they're gone, that paper is gone for good. So it's sad, but I have what I think is an excellent alternative. And in fact, when I was originally designing the first hardcover Cosmo Air Light notebook, this was the first Cosmo Air Light notebook that I launched, it was originally a coin toss between Cosmo Air Light and Tranext. Ultimately, I went with Cosmo Air Light because it had better brand recognition. They're very, very close. So I will go through the differences, but let's first walk through the notebooks. Now they're available in two colors. I have a blue and a darker gray here. The gray ones are going to be blank and the blue ones are going to be 7mm ruled. Now I'm hoping in the future that I can do dot grids and some other sizes, but for now it's standard A5 size and ruled or blank. Now in terms of specifications, these have 192 pages, so that's 12 16-page signatures. They are a stitched binding with a naked spine, so this makes them very, very flexible. You can write with them folded over. You're not going to hurt the spine. They lay super, super flat. Just very comfortable. Essentially, these are the same spec as my bank paper notebooks. So same kind of paper cloth cover, but in different colors, and the exact same construction. We do have a bookmark, as you can see here, and just a simple foil stamp on the back there. This paper, interestingly, is extremely similar to Cosmo Air Light. This is made by Nippon Paper Industries, and it's produced at their Ishinomaki mill. And the price is $34. And for Blake's Broadcast viewers and subscribers, you can get 10% off with code BB10 at checkout. Now, about that discount, I'm able to offer that right now. With the next batches of production, I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to maintain the price, but we will see what happens. Walking through the notebook, you do get a pink blotter sheet, and I've been using this one as my journal for about a month now. This is the same blotter sheet that you got with the Cosmo Air Light hardcover notebook. This should last you pretty much the entire notebook unless you're really doing like big ink swatches and trying to dry that for some reason. But for normal journaling, one sheet of this will last you the entire notebook. So I think that is really good. We have our gray Takeo paste down here, the same that we use in all of our Japanese notebooks with a stitched binding. And then we go right into the ruled pages. This is the same standard format that we used in our bank paper notebooks, 7mm rule, smaller margins at the edges, and a little bit bigger one in the middle just to accommodate the binding. And we also have a bigger one up top just for a nicer heading. Now let's talk about the paper performance here, and then we can compare it to Cosmo Air Light. Just like Cosmo Air Light, this is a coated paper. It was designed for catalog use, and it is really excellent for color reproduction. So this is the sort of paper that makes your ink look as good as it's ever going to look, pretty much. There are no issues with colors changing like you might have on bank paper. It's just a very, very nice paper for fountain pen ink, and I actually think it is nicer than Cosmo Air Light because it is a true bright white paper, whereas Cosmo Air Light has a little bit more of an ivory color to it. Now, looking at the face of this, Everything here looks really, really good. There's zero feathering. Everything looks crisp, and we get nice shading from the fountain pens. This looks really, really good. Now, if we turn to the back, and it's 83 GSM, we can see the Sharpie trying to come through a little bit. It's not fully penetrating the paper. The Copic does come through a little bit in spots. The permanent Staedtler Lumocolor does not come through, and neither does the Pilot oil drawing pen. So this is very, very good performance. The fountain pens, zero issues there. Looks really, really nice. Now, comparing to Cosmo Air Light, which I have here on the right. Now, also keep in mind, the fountain pens here are a little bit different. So I should have probably done this a little bit differently. On the Tranext paper here, we have a vintage OBB nib, which is a wetter nib than this 14903B nib, and this is Waterman Serenity Blue versus Iroshizuku Ajisa. So they look a little bit similar, but they aren't actually the same ink there. You will see on both of these, you have nice shading on the Mont Blanc there. I did do a lot of black inks, sorry, so you're not going to see quite as much shading on there, but you do get sheening. Even like on the Otofude ball, this ink has like a glossy sheen to it. Visually, these look very, very similar. I do think that the Tranext has slightly more line spread than Cosmo Air Light. Now, if you don't like line spread, but you like coated paper, the Tomoe River from the Paper Mind, this is the Tomoe River S. This does not have any line spread. Now, it does not have the line smoothing effect that the original Tomoe River had, but you do get that line smoothing effect with Cosmo Air Light and with Tranext. So just some differences there. Also, I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but you can just see that the Tranext is significantly wider than the Cosmo Air Light. Now, if we turn the pages over to compare here, we can see very similar performance. It really is, I think, almost identical. In terms of show-through, I think the Tranext does slightly better. I will say on the Sharpie, it looks like potentially the Cosmo Air Light has fared slightly better. But when it comes to fountain pens, they are really equal. I've done some other testing here. Now I'm making this confusing, but it does say Tranext and Cosmo Air Light here. I've just switched them. Both have really nice shading and sheening. I actually think the Tranext is a little bit superior when it comes to sheening, especially on this Platinum 3776. This is Iroshizuku Konpeki, and at least as I'm sitting, you just catch a lot more of those red undertones here. I do think the line spread, as I said before, is slightly greater here. In terms of dry times, well, I did a little test here. They're both slow. After 40 on the Cosmo Air and 50 on the Tranext, I just kind of gave up. I will say I use both of these as my main journal in the past. This one I'm currently using as my main journal, the Tranext, but I've used the Cosmo Air Light in the past, and being right-handed, I don't have any issues with smearing or smudging or having the ink come up on my hands. Like, I've looked through my journaling on the Tranext and I haven't smudged it at all. But if you are left-handed, you might need to be careful. And if you're taking notes like really quickly, using the included blotter sheet is probably a good idea. I don't know. My method for doing these dry times, I'm not really that happy with it. It's not very scientific. I'm using a Q-tip and I'm timing it. I don't know. For some reason, the 30-second here did really well. Maybe I didn't push down as hard on it. And the same thing, the best performance here was the 10-second. I don't know. I'm just ignore that test. Just know that the dry time for these papers is long, similar to Tomoe River. It just kind of is what it is, the nature of a coated paper. Now, in terms of the feel, they are both very similar. However, the Tranext is smoother. The Cosmo Air Light has a bit more of a feeling of a resistance. There's a little bit more of a marshmallowy kind of feeling going on here. I don't actually have a preference. I think they're both nice. You know, I love variety in paper. I will say the Tranext has a more luxurious writing experience, and both of these work really nice with flex nibs. I've been using it with my Omas Jiva, which you can see here, and they do not bleed at all. If we look here, there's no bleeding on that Omas Jiva, so these are suitable for flex nibs, for scratchy nibs. This paper is really, really good. So I think that is pretty much it. I think this is a very, very similar paper to Cosmo Air Light. For the same paperweight, both of these are 83 GSM. I think the Tranext is a little bit hair better at ghosting. I think it does make ink look even slightly better with sheening and shimmering. The shading is a little bit of a toss-up. Inks might look slightly lighter on Cosmo Air Light versus Tranext. It's really, really close. I think the biggest thing that people that are used to Cosmo Air Light are going to notice is that this paper is whiter and it's a bit smoother. There's a bit less resistance writing on this. I think those are really the big differences here. From a performance perspective, you're really kind of splitting hairs. So I'm very happy that we have a really solid alternative to Cosmo Air Light. It is annoying that this was discontinued. It's been tough because so many of my favorite papers are discontinued. Bank paper and Passapede Cream, Cosmo Air Light. Paper's not being manufactured anymore, so, you know, just my stocks are dwindling, but it's nice to be able to find good replacements. So what are my pros and cons for the Paper Mind Tranext Notebook? Well, obviously I designed this notebook, so I really like it. In terms of pros, the paper is amazingly fountain pen friendly. It is great for showing off shimmering and sheening inks. Shading looks really nice on here. It is a bright white paper, a whiter paper than Cosmo Air Light, and it really makes ink pop. It is also very luxurious to write on. It's very smooth and it's very forgiving to fountain pens. So if you have fountain pens that are on the drier side, or that, you know, sometimes hard start or skip here and there, this kind of smooths out some of that poor performance just because the nature of that coated surface. I also, of course, love the naked binding here, stitched binding. It's super flexible. You can fold it over. It's really strong. It's just super easy to deal with. We do get a blotter sheet, which is nice. We get a bookmark, nothing that you don't need. It comes in a light 7mm rule and blank, which are my two favorite formats. It's also an A5 size, a standard A5 size, so that pretty much any normal A5 cover will fit this. It doesn't need a cover. The paper cloth is durable enough, but if you wanted to add one, you can do that pretty easily without having to do some kind of custom cover to fit your notebook. So that is really great. In terms of cons, because this paper is coated, it does have slower dry times. Using that blotter sheet will help if you're really in a hurry. Other cons, right now it's only available in an A5 size. There's only 2 colors and it's only ruled or blank. Now, if you guys like this notebook, in the future I hope to do different sizes. I'd like to do a B6 Slim, a B5. I want to do dot grid and possibly a solid grid as well. So right now the options are a little bit limited, but I really want to hear what you guys think. But that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this notebook? Do you like this notebook? Please let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, and until next time.